I Believe People Do Not Change by Meredith Bradshaw. My previous husband shouted at me once while in an alcoholic rage the words, "You have changed." 3 simple words that stood out amongst all the gibberish and anger. Those words, in a different context, could make him the victim. He was outraged about the advancements I was making and for leaving him behind. I had not changed, but I had grown without him. I've spent many years pondering that statement as my marriage dissolved. The word change should be reserved for the seasons of the weather. I believe people do not change. We evolve or grow as we learn and process our trials and triumphs. People are the product of their parents. Biological genes are unable to be altered. The values or lack thereof are instilled early in our childhood. My parents chose a simpler life, small town, modest house, and would serve our community. I grew up with loving, supportive parents, their lives revolving around my siblings and me. We were a close-knit family unit. At the age of 16, I was working at Sonic America's Drive-In. It was a busy Friday night, skating from car to car, delivering brown bag specials and cherry limeades. Little did I know, my situation was about to change. The call came through the management office at 8:30 in the evening. My mother was being admitted to the hospital. Throughout the ordeal of chemotherapy and physical rehabilitation, my mother would be unable to perform her delegated responsibilities. As a teenager, I would run the household. I grew into my role as a caregiver to my family. Her death, 5 years later, created a void, and the circumstances were different, but me, as a person, I was the same. The challenges helped shape me to further mature and prepare for the next stages in life. 7 years of marriage ended when I was given permission to divorce my husband by our marriage counselor. There were many signs of his internal struggle. May 2010, I had an emergency C-section to deliver our boy-girl twins. Later that night, as the commotion quieted down, with family returning home, those brand new babies safe and secure downstairs in the NICU, and I was resting in my hospital bed. My husband looks over at me with a question in his eyes, an all too familiar look. He wanted to, or possibly needed to, have a drink. That night, I had never felt so alone. Alcoholic tendencies were something he inherited from his parents. Growth would have been to acknowledge this as a struggle and attempt to overcome it. Throughout our marriage, I observed the roller coaster of addiction. My awareness of this will continue to pull us apart. The shuffle of raising children is exhausting. Packing diaper bags, making bottles, maintaining their educational development, and staying emotionally engaged. Watching those twin little preemie babies prosper mirrored my maturity as a new mother. Motherhood is the ultimate test of growth. I have always been more reserved and trusting. Doctors have a reputation of being knowledgeable and reliable. My daughter was born with birthmarks that turned out to be venous malformations, or better known as hemangiomas. I was sitting at the pediatrician's office, holding my sweet baby girl with my equally cute baby boy on the floor next to me, strapped securely to his car seat, awaiting the doctor's arrival. I was told there was nothing he could do, and I was overreacting. I then found my voice. I would research and become my own expert. After traveling, interviewing surgeons, the surgery was completed. Becoming a mother forced me to be assertive. This is not a change to my personality. This is the embodiment of needed growth. Changes are inevitable. Since I've been navigating my life primarily on my own, I met the man I am soon to marry. He has similar views on this subject and is preparing to grow with me as a newly minted blended family. We are currently building our dream home, beginning a new school district, and creating our future together. He encouraged me to not be disheartened when I found myself furloughed from my job of 15 years, but instead we created a plan. I am righting a wrong in attending college to obtain a long-deserved degree. He provides the space for my next step in my ever-extending growth and the ability to flourish. Many people would say my entire life has changed, and in some sense of the word it has. My location is different. My goals have shifted. My heart is happier. But I believe in the word growth. Would my life have been better if my mom had not passed away? Probably. Would my first marriage have survived if he had chosen to join me in progressing? Maybe. Would I be where I am now if I decided to stay as I was? No. I grew. I believe that people do not change. I believe that people grow.